Welcome to Daily Papers, the podcast where we break down the latest and most interesting academic papers into something you can actually understand.
And today, we're looking at a fascinating one that combines two things you might not expect to see together: ancient philosophy and artificial intelligence that reviews computer code.
That's right, the paper is called Philosophical Dispositions as Behavioral Constraints for AI-Assisted Code Review. And the big idea is, what if we gave AI a personality, not just to be chatty, but to make it better at its job?
Okay, so let's start with the problem. Right now, a lot of companies are using AI to help review code before it gets released. Think of it like an automated editor for programmers. But these AIs tend to be a bit generic.
Exactly. The paper says they operate as a generic expert reviewer. You tell the AI, act like an expert, and it does its best impression. But under pressure, when it sees something really new or weird, that impression can shatter. It doesn't have any core principles to fall back on.
It's like an actor who knows their lines but has no idea what their character's motivation is. As soon as something unexpected happens, they don't know how to react.
The paper argues that humans solve this problem with something they call character. A great human code reviewer doesn't just follow a checklist, they have an internalized set of principles about what makes good, robust software. That's what allows them to spot new and unusual problems.
So the big idea of this paper is, can we give an AI character? Not in a science fiction, it's alive kind of way, but by grounding it in well-established philosophical traditions.
And that's where it gets really cool. They created a system with different AI dispositions, which are basically personalities based on ancient philosophies. For their experiment, they built a team of 4.
Let's meet the team. First up, you have the Cynic. This AI is based on Diogenes and the Greek cynics. Its core question is, what is hollow? What can be removed? It's like the Marie Kondo of code. It looks for unnecessary complexity in code that doesn't spark joy and suggests getting rid of it.
I love that. Next in the pipeline is the skeptic. This one is based on Pyrrhonist skepticism, and its job is to ask, how confident are we really? It pokes at the code's assumptions, looking for unverified claims or areas where the code might fail silently. It's that friend who always says, "Are you sure about that?"
Then you have the Nyaya. This is a school of Hindu philosophy focused on logic. The Nyaya AI is a logic auditor. It traces the chains of reasoning in the code. If A happens, then B happens, which causes C. And it's brilliant at finding when that chain is broken. For example, it might spot that a change in one part of the code will accidentally break something completely different somewhere else.
And finally, the Confucian AI. This one is all about order, names, and relationships. It asks, do names match reality? If a piece of code is called calculate user age, does it actually do that, or does it do something else? It's concerned with clarity and making sure everything is in its proper place.
So you have this team of 4 philosophical AIs. The Cynic trims the fat. The Skeptic stress tests what's left. The Nyaya checks the logic, and the Confucian makes sure it all makes sense. They each review the same piece of code one after the other and present their findings separately.
And the researchers put this system to the test. They took 50 real-world code changes that had already been reviewed by experienced human programmers. They ran their philosophical AI team on them and then compared the results to what the humans found and also to what a standard, generic, expert AI would find.
So how did our philosophy team do? The results are amazing. First, they had a 46% overlap with the issues found by human reviewers. This is huge because it proves the AI is finding real, legitimate problems that humans also care about.
But here's the kicker. A whopping 75% of the findings from the philosophical AI were things the human reviewers had completely missed. These weren't just little stylistic things, they were significant issues.
And how did it do against the generic act like an expert AI? It blew it out of the water. Over half, 51%, of the issues the philosophical AI found were completely invisible to the generic AI. And the types of issues were different. The generic AI found simple, code-level bugs. The philosophical AI found deeper, structural, and logical problems.
For instance, in one example from the paper, a programmer was renaming a component. The generic AI just said, looks good, maybe update the documentation. But the Nyaya, the logician, flagged a critical issue. You've renamed this thing, but you haven't provided a way to handle the old name. So anything in our live system that relies on the old name is now going to break. That's a potential disaster that the humans and the generic AI both missed.
That's a huge difference, and amazingly, across over 600 total findings, the author judged that the philosophical AI had 0 false positives. It wasn't just making stuff up. Every issue it flagged was a real, defensible point.
Now, it's not a perfect replacement for humans. It still missed about half of what the human reviewers found. A lot of those misses were things that required deep, specific knowledge about that particular project, or were about internal conventions and style, which this system was designed to ignore.
So it's not about replacing human programmers, but augmenting them. It gives them a new set of lenses to look at their work. It's a tool that catches a whole different class of problems.
And that's really the core contribution of this paper. It's not just about this one system, it's the idea that you can constrain an AI's behavior in a powerful and useful way by grounding it in these deep, stress-tested human traditions.
It's a middle path between rigid, brittle rules and the unpredictable surface-level role-playing we have now. You give the AI a coherent character, and it generates useful, predictable, and insightful behavior.
So the next time you're using an app and it crashes, just think, maybe all its code needed was a review from an ancient Greek cynic.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to Daily Papers.